Hi, I've been thinking about doing a foot massage for self-care. Now I hope you'll bear with me because although it is possible to do this yourself and quite successfully, it's quite awkward to do it yourself and do that in front of a camera. So I find it a little bit difficult to find the right angle and so on, so I hope that I can show you and explain enough. So what I've got is a towel, and I would suggest that because you're using massage oils, you have a handy towel, and you also maybe want to have a clean pair of socks or a clean pair of slippers, something to put on after the massage. You don't want to stand up and put oil all over the floor or carpet, and similarly you don't want to stand up and slip because you've got oil on your feet. And you want to keep that oil working its way into your skin, softening the skin and so on, for a little bit longer anyway. So that's why I've got a towel here ready to mop up any excess oil, and I've got my slippers ready to put on afterwards as well. So I'm going to show you with this foot. As I say, bear with me, it's a little bit awkward to get the right angle for this. I'm going to use a little bit of oil. Now if you've done the hand massage and you've thought about the anatomy of the foot, hands and feet have got a lot of things in common. So the basic structure is very similar, but one thing that you can think about is when you're doing your feet, you can go much firmer, especially on the sole of your feet. Think about it. You're walking on your feet all day. Your feet, the soles of your feet are really used to having a lot of weight and pressure on it, and there's quite a lot of skin there that you can work on, and you can put quite a lot of pressure on. If you go too lightly, that's when it's more possible that you're going to have tickly feet. So a lot of people who say, oh, I can't possibly have a massage because it'll be tickly, actually if you're nice and firm and smooth, then actually you don't get such tickly feet. So the first thing I'm doing is the effleurage, which is basically I'm warming up the foot. Now maybe like me you suffer from cold feet, cold toes. It's actually quite nice just to get a lot of nice movement to warm that up. You can come up the ankle, up the leg a little bit as well. So just even sitting rubbing in an evening when you're watching telly, a little bit of oil or a salve or a balm. I'll explain a little bit more about my recommendations for them afterwards. But just a little bit of oil, and then just sit and rub your feet using that nice effleurage. Think about, while you're doing effleurage, are there any lumps and bumps that you're sort of thinking, not sure what that is, why is that there? And think about, am I warming up the muscles? Am I helping the blood flow by moving towards the heart, so stronger this way, working down but going stronger that way. So a little bit of effleurage there. Okay, so again, like the hands, when you're thinking about the palm of your hand, you've got nice fleshy bits around the thumb there, and you've got nice fleshy bits around the base of the joints there. So similarly on your feet, you've got the pads just under your toes, and you've also got your heel as well, of course, which has got a lot of padding on it. Now your instep, a lot of people might find that that's quite a tender area, but again you can rub a work on the instep, but just be, you know, just watch out, make sure you're thinking about where and how that might be sensitive. Okay, so let's start by doing our little circles around the pads. So again, you're warming up, and again, I'm using my two thumbs to do circular actions here. You can really work quite a lot in there, lots of using your thumbs into the pads there. It's really quite soft and fleshy. You can also start to use your knuckle. Now, when you're doing massage therapy, you can use different parts of your hands, your arms, your elbows. All of these are going to take away the strain from constantly using your thumbs. What you don't want to be doing is damaging yourself, hurting yourself by using your thumbs in the wrong way. So you can, with your feet, start to use some of the bits of your knuckles. So you can rub those bits there, those knuckles, you can use them to make your circles. So using circles, go along those bits, You can really get into that. Yeah. And then similarly, going with the circles, you can work your way down. You can go round the instep and you can go onto the heel, the pad of the heel. And again, using those knuckles, you can really do nice circles around the heel area. Yeah, and actually it's really hard on your heels to press too hard unless there's something actually damaged. Normal feet, without any damage, you can really press really hard on that. And then from there, what you can do is similar kind of action. You can do figure of 8. So across the knuckles, down the instep, round the heel, a figure of 8 action. So you're doing a figure of 8, going round. You can go right round, figure of 8. Okay. Now we can move on to what you would call the top side of your foot. And like your hand, when you're working on this side of the hand, underneath the skin here, you've got the bones which run from the knuckle up to the wrist. Similarly, you've got bones which run from the joint here up to your ankle. And what you're going to do is find that gap between the bones and work your way up that. So you can do that with the soft pads of your fingers. You can run up there. You can do that on each one. By the way, notice that I've taken off my rings. It's not a good idea to wear rings. You might get oil stuck under them, but also you don't want to snag your skin on the rings. Okay, so you can, each of the gaps between the bones there, you can run up there. And you can also do little circles. And then once you've done that, to work your way in between the bones, remember you don't do massage on the bone itself, you're going in between the bones. Once you've worked that, you can also do what is called sort of cracking open. So basically you're pressing with your thumbs on the under part and then using your hands to kind of crack, if you like, turn your foot. So you're doing that kind of motion. So on the soft part of your foot, you're pushing your thumbs down and you're cracking that open. So again, what you're doing is thinking about working the bones on this side, the bits, the soft tissue in between them. You're thinking of kind of opening that up. Yeah, does that make sense? Opening it up, cracking it open. Okay. And then again, similar to your hands, you can move each of the joints in turn. Remember that what you're doing is supporting as far as possible so that the foot you're working on can relax, the muscles can relax. So what you're doing is holding the bit closer to the heart, you're holding that bit, working your way down the joints like that. So I'm holding here and moving that joint, I'm holding here, yeah, I'm holding here, moving that joint, that one, and that one. You can go through all the toes, you can work your way, 3 joints there, 1, the little toe, 2, 3, and you can also do little circles on the soft pads of each of your toes. So the soft pads of each of your toes, you can do little circles on that as well. I personally quite like that because it warms my toes up. Okay. You can come along to your ankle and remember that there's lots of little bones in your ankle, and again you can do circles around that area. Use the soft part of your thumb, you can feel all the bits in between the bones. Do soft circles around. I'm using the pads of my fingers now. I'm doing little circles around. And then you can just gently flex and extend your ankle, just gently. And then you can finish with, again, some more effleurage. Okay, so there are some other things you can do. You don't necessarily need to do it in that order, but that gives you a nice foot massage. And of course what you would then do is start on the other foot. Okay, hope you enjoyed that.